Hi, my name is Ross McPherson. I'm the president of Career Quest. I speak to MBA programs like yours all over North America, and I'm also the resume and LinkedIn expert for BeyondBSchool.com. Now, whenever I'm speaking to MBA cohorts or MBA programs and I'm speaking on advanced resumes, the topic of cover letters always comes up. Questions, comments, how do you put them together? Do I even need one? I never read them, so why should I bother? What are these e-notes I keep hearing about? In this video, I want to try to answer all those questions for you. Do you even need a cover letter? The quick answer to that is it depends. Now, I know there's an awful lot of you that hire and don't read cover letters, but I know there's an awful lot of you that hire and do read them. I know a lot of HR managers and a lot of recruiters that read them and a lot that don't. That's the whole problem. You don't know who you're getting on the other side. So when in doubt, my recommendation is always send one and send a fantastic one. If you happen to know, for example, if you're applying online and you copy and paste your resume into a field and there's no field for a cover letter and they don't ask for a cover letter, then chances are they're not even considering cover letters. You may get away without one there. But when in doubt, always send one and send a great one. Now, there are innumerable ways to put a cover letter together, and that's actually part of the problem. You've got a blank sheet, and it's, how do I put this together? What I want to do is keep this simple for you. So I'm going to introduce you to a three-part structure that's really simple. You can use in any type of letter. There's three simple parts, and all you need to do is fill in each one, and you've got a great letter. First part is the opening. And in the opening, I want you to start with a really strong and compelling opening sentence, okay? The middle section, that's where you sell yourself into the role. You want to be concise and extremely direct and to the point. And then there's a close. In the close, you're thanking them, and there's some call to action, an interview, a phone call, something in terms of a next step. It's that simple a structure, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through all of the different options you've got in each one of those sections. So here's just an example of what those three sections look like in an actual cover letter. And you'll notice this is an example of one. It's not too long, it's concise, it's to the point, it has each three sections very clearly. The first, the opening, is that opening little paragraph. I'm a technology leader with over 20 years experience in the development and support of IC solutions, a recent MBA, and both the leadership and technical capabilities to excel as your new director of IT solutions. That's a strong opening. The next little paragraph, and you'll notice it's just a little paragraph, and then the bullet points after are directly selling this candidate into that specific role. Very laser focused, very pinpointed to that role and this individual's capabilities to it. And then the ending, the close, is I'm very motivated to discuss this in person. Please call me at this number. Thank you for your time, sincerely, and so forth. And that's the close. So as you can see, it's a really simple structure. But what you can do within that structure is really quite powerful. Let me break down each section in turn, and I'll show you what you can do. Now, one question before I get there that always comes up at this point is, before you even get to the opening, who do you address the letter to? Well, here's my simple answer. If you have a name, or you can get a name, use that name. Always, if you can, no matter how you're sending it, address it to an individual. However, if you don't have a name or can't get a name, here's my recommendation. Try not to use something like "to whom it may concern." That is so 1972. It's just, don't use it. You can sometimes get away with "dear hiring manager," "dear HR manager," but to be honest with you, since most communication these days is electronic, those old formalities of letter writing really don't apply as much anymore. You can get away at the top of an email, for example, if the body of an email is your cover letter, you could get away with "greetings," comma, at the top, and then just jump right into your opening sentence. So here's my recommendation. If you have a name, use it. If you don't, keep it really simple and just jump right into the body of your letter. With the opening, remember I said that opening line needs to be strong, compelling, and really grab them. You really want it to leap off the page and you want to grab their attention here. So in other words, you do not want to start with something like, in response to the posting for whatever position I saw on LinkedIn last Thursday morning, I am herewith enclosing my blah, blah, blah. Honestly, that line is flat out ignored, and to be honest with you, you're going to slip them into a coma right off the top of your letter. So you don't want to start with something boring like that. You want to literally start off with "dear so-and-so," bam. You want to really hit them with something hard. So you've got a whole bunch of options. I'm going to show you 4 different options that you can do. Now, the first one is to hit them with qualifications right out of the gate. I'm a senior finance executive with 12 plus years experience with Morgan Stanley in New York, experience in both private equity and global M&As, and I'm currently completing an MBA at Emory's Goizeta Business School. I'm very interested in your opening for a director of finance. You can see in that example, start off with strong credentials. You could also, instead of credentials, jump right into performance. some results from your career, like this. So it would start, Dear so-and-so, over a 15-year career in technology sales, I have led national teams to win over 17 performance awards and increased revenues by as much as 163% in 1 year. I can bring that same level of performance to ABC Company. So you can see using performance or results is another really great way, compelling way to grab their attention right out of the gate. Now another one that not everyone uses, but I use every so often, is to start off with a quick little anecdote. If you've got a quick little result, a real winning anecdote to start with, a real great story, jump into it. People love a story and it's a great way to grab attention. This is what I mean. When I joined ABC Company in 2012, they challenged me to reduce production costs by 25% within 3 years. I achieved that goal within the first 8 months and have since reduced them a further 21%. I can do the same as your new VP production. So that's using an anecdote to open up your cover letter. Now, if you happen to know the person that you're sending it to, or if there's any connection whatsoever, or if you're networking your way in, what you want to do is open with that connection. So for example, it would say, Dear so-and-so, Marjorie Chan suggested I contact you. Or, Dear so-and-so, thank you for speaking with me at the ABC conference. It was a pleasure meeting you, as you may recall, comma, and then you launch into your background or qualifications. So if you have any connection or you're networking your way in, don't eventually say what the connection is, open with the connection. And again, you'll grab their attention. Okay, now in this middle section, you've opened, you've grabbed their attention. Now's where you sell yourself into the role. Now, you really want to be concise here, get really to the point and really knock their socks off. Give them what they need to know about you. You can use paragraphs, and I still see it. The problem is, and especially in today's world where some of this appears online, large paragraphs are seldom read. So I'm a big fan of really tiny paragraphs if you're going to use them, and or bullets. In fact, almost every cover letter I write has bullets in them. So let me walk you through a couple examples of what I mean in terms of how you can build a great middle section that sells you right into the role. One option you've got is to open again with strong qualifications. So in this one, you'll see a small little paragraph. Over the course of my career, I've served as Director of Financial Analysis here. I recently served as Director of Finance there. And then it launches into bullets. Among my qualifications I can offer you, and then bullet, 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 bullet. Each one really laser focused on specifically what you have that they want. So this is selling qualifications in that middle section. Or you could, again, use results instead of just qualifications. Highlight impressive results or past performance. Like in this example, throughout my career, I've been challenged to lead similar strategic sales initiatives, build market presence, accelerate growth, outperform the competition. In recent sales director roles, I have, and then you launch into bullets. Exceeded annual revenue goals by $1 million, created joint marketing initiatives, tripled revenues, spearheaded development of National Association and consortia portfolios. You get the point. So again, these bullet points were all about performance. But again, in this middle section, you're selling yourself right into what they want to know about you. You could even use what's called a T letter or a T format for your cover letter. And in this example, in this format, what you do is it's basically a table, a 2-column table. And in the left-hand side, you write down their requirements for the role. And in the right-hand side, your qualifications that match it. Let me show you an example of what that looks like. So as you can see in this example, your requirements, the requirements of the posting, are listed down the left-hand side. In this case, M&A experience, international business development, MBA or equivalent. And down the right-hand side, my qualifications, or the qualifications that you have that match that. And be specific, but be brief. In this example, obviously, you're laser focusing. This is what you want, this is what I have. It can be a very compelling way to do that. No matter what approach you use, pick the one that's going to sell you the best. Okay, really feel free to be creative with it, but really knock it out of the park. Be direct, be to the point, and show them how suited you are into that role. So you've started with a great opening, you've got a really powerful and compelling middle section that sells you into the role. In this closing section, it's really all about the thank you and a call to action, some sort of a next step, whether it's an interview, a phone call, you'll follow up, something along those lines. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm very interested in joining your team and would welcome an interview to discuss this role and my suitability in more detail. Please contact me at this number. Thank you for your consideration and I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, and then your name. Or it could be something like this. I'm very interested in learning more about this opportunity and discussing the leadership expertise and results I can bring as your new VP Sales. Please contact me directly at and phone number. Regards, and your name. So that's the basic structure. Opening, middle, and close. Strong opening, really compelling middle that sells you into the role, and a close that brings up a next step or a call to action. The full length of this should be like half a page to 2/3 of a page at the absolute most. The shorter the better, to be honest with you. In fact, it leads me into what I wanted to introduce you to, which is what's called an E-note. Since an awful lot of this even now takes place on a phone, recruiters are pulling up these applications on their phones, you may want to be really concise in how you put a letter together. So I want to introduce you to the idea of an e-note. It's just like a cover letter, same 3 sections, but extremely concise. And let me just show you an example of how concise I'm talking about. So in this sample, you can see how concise we're getting. Mr. Denholm, I've earned 9 President's Circle Awards for sales leadership in the wireless and telecom industry. Results include, and then boom, 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 4 results. Your opening is a perfect fit for my skills, and I'm confident I could continue the same level of performance with your company. Call me at this number. That's how concise we're talking about in an e-note, and it reads perfectly on a phone. It's not a long paragraph. Here's another example. Mr. Snyder, I specialize in jump-starting new businesses, turning around underperforming businesses, and generating breakthrough results. As VP Sales and Marketing at Geotech, I did this. As VP Strategic Growth with Noventus, I did this. As National Director of Business Development with this company, I did this. With over 15 years experience in these kind of results, I know I can hit the ground running as SVP Global Sales. Please call me at this number, and then your name. That's what I mean by concise. That's an e-note. So that's it. That's all you need to create a great cover letter, and you've got all sorts of different examples on how to use this structure as well. Feel free to be creative within it, but really sell yourself. Be really concise, really to the point, tell them what they need to hear, and it's going to make the difference. If you do this correctly, not only is it going to really compel them to look at your resume, but I've even known some recruiters to say they started picking up the phone after the letter. Do this right, you're going to get some results. I'm Ross McPherson, best of luck to you.